the camera flashed, the crowd froze. We are so used to seeing action stars like Mark Wahlberg handle, absolute chaos.
Right. Leaping off buildings, dodging bullets, all of it.
But there's this one simple, almost serene scene that brought him to his knees, forcing him to admit, and this is a quote, it was the most dangerous, nerve-wracking sport he's ever seen. And it wasn't on a film set.
No, it was watching his own daughter compete. And that fear, it turned out to be completely justified. One misstep, one fall in an equestrian ring.
And the whole celebrity bubble just pops.
It crashes right into the reality of an ambulance ride to the hospital.
Welcome to Starscope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Today, we're really getting into the story behind Mark Wahlberg opening up about his youngest daughter, Grace's equestrian accident.
And why this whole incident tells us so much more about the Wahlberg work ethic than it does about, just the dangers of fame. We've got the full timeline of the injury, the community's surprising reaction, and the parental conflict that came right after.
It's this classic dilemma. How do you balance that intense fear with your kids' even more intense discipline?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the crash itself. The broken collarbone. The incident, from all accounts, was just swift and frankly terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. 15-year-old Grace Wahlberg rushed to the hospital in an ambulance after a competition. I mean, that's every parent's worst nightmare.
Exactly. It happens so fast you can't even process it. And Grace, we should say, is the youngest of Mark and Rhea Durham's 4 kids. She is a very serious competitive equestrian.
This is not just a casual weekend hobby for her. She is all in. Her social media is filled with her horses. You can just see the dedication.
Which makes the stakes that much higher.
Totally.
The sources seem to place the injury during a competition, probably the National Sunshine Series, out in Thermal, California. That's based on some photos shared around that time.
And then on November 3rd, it all went public.
Wow.
Grace herself posts a photo from a hospital bed.
Wow.
Yeah. Her left arm is in a big black sling, and the injury was confirmed. A broken collarbone.
A very painful injury. And one that, immediately shuts down her entire training schedule.
Right. But what's so fascinating here isn't just the break itself. It's the culture around it, the immediate reaction.
Yes. This is where it gets really interesting because the family's reaction showed this huge split. The parents were obviously terrified, but Grace was already focused on her comeback.
Mark's Instagram post was just raw parental panic.
Just emojis, right?
Yeah, a string of them, praying hands, a broken heart, crying faces. You could just feel his worry.
And then his wife, Rhea, she shared a meme later that said something like things could always be worse.
Which kind of hints that the initial fear was way, way worse than the final diagnosis. You can just feel the relief in that.
But Grace, the one actually in the hospital bed, she posts the most powerful statement of all.
Oh, her caption was amazing. So defiant.
No pressure, we will be back.
I mean, come on. She basically treated a fractured bone like a minor inconvenience.
A speed bump. And this is where the culture of the sport comes in, because the equestrian community's response was, well, it was kind of chilling.
It really was. They were all supportive, of course, but the language they used was so specific, they called the break a jockey's fracture.
And even a rite of passage.
A rite of passage. I mean, we have to just stop on that for a second. We are talking about a serious injury. A clavicle break happens when you brace for a fall. It's just physics.
And it's so common that it has its own nickname. It's been, codified into the sport's identity. It says so much about the kind of toughness that's just expected.
It really does. It implies you have to absorb this level of risk just to be in the game. And that's where the parental paradox kicks in,
Right. Any other parent sees that ambulance, they hear broken collarbone, and the first instinct is to say, okay, we're done here. Too dangerous.
But in her world, for Grace, this injury just proved to her peers how serious she was. Welcome to the club.
And you just have to imagine the fear for Mark Wahlberg, a guy whose whole brand is built on control.
His diet, his schedule, his workouts, everything is controlled.
But he has zero control the moment his daughter's horse makes a bad move. That vulnerability, that's the real story.
And that leads us straight into this incredible contrast. The action hero's fear versus his daughter's insane drive.
And you will not believe the schedule Mark says his daughter keeps. It makes his famous 4 a.m. routine look like sleeping in.
It really puts it in perspective.
Okay, let's get into that. The discipline versus the danger. Because the biggest headline to come out of all this was from Mark's interviews. He was doing press for his movie, The Family Plan, too.
Right, around mid-November.
And his big claim was that this hobby, this sport, is more terrifying than anything Hollywood could ever dream up.
He was everywhere saying it. Access Hollywood today. He kept repeating it. He called the sport terrifying. Very, very dangerous.
He even said it was the most dangerous, nerve-wracking sport that I've ever watched and witnessed.
And he'd said it before, too. Last year, he mentioned being more nervous, anxious, or stressed at any sporting event in my life just watching her.
So I have to ask, I mean, he's promoting an action movie where he plays a former assassin. Is this all genuine parental fear, or is it also a really savvy soundbite?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
The contrast is perfect. Hollywood danger versus real-life family drama.
It is perfect for a press tour. But I actually lean toward it being genuine fear. I mean, think about it. A movie stunt is controlled. It's rehearsed. You have safety harnesses.
Right.
A 1,000-pound animal making a split-second decision, that's not controlled.
Yeah.
I think the fear is very real because he truly has no power in that situation.
That's a great point. He can control the set, but he cannot control the horse. The terror is real.
But what's so fascinating is how quickly he pivots from that terror to just utter admiration for her commitment.
He uses the danger to kind of elevate her dedication.
Exactly. He starts describing her schedule, and it's just brutal. He says she has the discipline of getting up at 4 o'clock every morning.
4 a.m. for a teenager.
7 days a week. To go to the barn. And it's not just riding. It's training, feeding, mucking out the stalls. She's caring for these animals herself.
That is shocking. I mean, Mark Wahlberg, the guy famous for his own 4 a.m. club,
Is telling the world his 15-year-old daughter is out-disciplining him. He called her a machine.
Wow. Coming from him, that's like the highest possible praise.
It is. He even said she has a dedication at 15 that it took him until his 40s to find. If you think about his whole brand, that's a huge statement.
It is. It's like his daughter, through this niche, dangerous sport, is teaching him something new about what real rigor looks like.
For sure. And this is where the injury turned into a real family conflict. Because as soon as she got the diagnosis, Grace wasn't upset about the pain.
No, she was chomping at the bit. She was angry that she was on mandatory recovery.
Her biggest worry wasn't her collarbone. It was her parents. She was scared they would deem the sport too dangerous and make her quit.
And that's the ultimate test, right? Do you protect your kid from risk, or do you nurture this incredible passion that is so clearly central to who she is?
It's such a tough call.
In the end, passion won out. Mark said they just have to let her pursue it because she's so driven, which I guess lines up perfectly with his whole life philosophy.
Pursue your dreams, bet on yourself, all of that.
Yeah, but it's this huge lesson in letting go.
It is. The tough guy action hero is terrified. But the 15-year-old is the one with the unwavering machine-like focus. She completely embodied that no pressure we will be back attitude from the moment she got hurt.
Absolutely. And she's dedicated to returning, to going up in jump height, which means the risk is only going to get bigger. The broken collarbone was a literal warning sign, and her dedication just didn't waver at all.
And that's really the core of it. The story isn't just about Mark Wahlberg's fear. It's actually about his deep respect for his daughter's work ethic.
He had to admit that her discipline in this seemingly small world actually surpassed his own.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, and if you're loving these deep dives, where personal dedication just collides with celebrity reality, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now.
We've got more stories like this coming, and you won't want to miss them. The final takeaway here is really how this incident almost redefines Mark Wahlberg's own version of discipline.
Right. He promotes getting up early to lift weights, which is one thing.
Yeah.
His daughter's getting up early to care for living creatures and face real physical danger. It's a different level.
It is, and it raises a really interesting question for all of us. Considering Mark's emphasis on that 4 a.m. grind, you have to wonder if the machine himself is taking lessons from his child. What surprising and intense lessons about work ethic might be hiding in the overlooked hobbies of the people closest to you.
It's some real food for thought.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.